My mics isn't working. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to start. Good night.
Hello, we're live.
Oh, we're live.
We are live, folks. Live.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Gillette, and this is the Business G-Spot with me, Tim Gillette, as one of the co-hosts. My other co-host is this beautiful lady to my left or right, depending on which side you're looking. All right. And her name is?
Katrina Garcia with KG Website Designs.
Yeah. Hey, did you know that, I'm working on redesigning my website?
Do you what?
I'm working on redesigning my website. Did you see it?
Yes, I think it looks great.
The new one?
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces you showed me.
Yeah.
I'll have to go in and check some more out. But yes, it looks fabulous. So.
Yeah. So tomorrow I got a virtual event, and you're speaking at it, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm just verifying. You know what I mean? Because as it is, I had a hard time getting speakers this month.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. People, anytime you have an opportunity to speak, even if it's to 5 people, speak. Because you're getting out there, right? Isn't that what we've talked about here?
Yeah.
Do it.
Especially when you don't have to leave your house to do it.
I know. You don't have to get on a freaking plane or anything. Just speak.
I'd rather speak from my house and from this spot right here in my comfy chair, or actually standing up either way. Yeah.
Yep, me too. Than to fly and go through TSA and
Yeah, I'm done with that TSA crap.
No, thank you. I'd rather just stay in my own little environment. I like it. I mean, granted, I like to get out and meet people, but still, this is nice.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this. All right, with events coming up, like I'm not doing normally I would do a May event, but I'm not doing a May event. I might do a one-day event on a Saturday, but like I'm not planning on doing a live event yet. I'm gonna wait till November to do a big one, a bigger one than I would normally do in May. So I can only do it once a year, and there's certain things I don't want to travel to events. I know our coach is going to do one in LA, and I already told him I'm not coming.
Well, it's just personally, I like going out and meeting people. I did a networking event yesterday. I finally found a networking event in my area. Yay!
Yeah,
Very exciting. And there is a point to get out and get in public and so forth. But I think, you have to decide what's going to work best for you. And frankly, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
The virtual is still all part of it. And I think people are saying, okay, we'll just ixnay the virtual. But no, it's a hybrid. You should be doing both, I believe.
Well, someone actually asked me if I did an event in May, hey, would you broadcast it? And I'm like, no, I do not do hybrid events. I do not. You one or the other. All right. There are two different events. Now, Craig, when I met Craig, all right, one of the things he said to me is you got to get offline and get out in the real world. And I get it. There was a time and place for it, but now more than ever, virtual events are huge, and that's where I want to go. All right. I don't want to play the business model of 6 months trying to get people to book it to come to a hotel anymore. I'm done with that business model.
And the cost now, too, is much higher to do a live event because these people are trying to make up the money they've lost over the past several years. So they are charging a fortune the
cost to put on a hotel event has tripled, all right, since I started doing them. Tripled.
Yes.
So
and you better have people that are showing up because you have to pay that cost out first.
Yeah. But that's the thing is people, I remember before I got into doing events, there were people who would pay, $2,000 for a ticket, and then they come there and buy your, your $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 upsell.
Yep.
And now, like, they want to come for $97, and they don't want to buy an upsell. If they buy an upsell, they want a discounted one for $3,000 to $5,000. They don't want to, and then they want to go home and charge $10,000 for their business, but they only want to pay $3,000 for someone else's. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to play that business model anymore.
No. And that's kind of what brought the virtual. People brought on virtual, and it's less expensive, and it's much easier for people to do because they can do it from their home. They can get a whole lot more people involved and a whole lot more people signed on. And my other coach, which is Suzanne Evans, she's She loves doing virtual, and she does both.
Yeah, Suzanne Evans
She
does
does
very
both.
good virtual.
She's excellent at it. I mean, she gets almost 1,200 people, if not more, in a virtual event with no problem. Same way with Sandra Yancey. She does both now too. So if you're doing a hybrid, I think that's the way to go, because then you're capturing all of your audience instead of just a small portion of it.
Well, let me ask you this. All right, when you look at like Sandra Yancey and Suzanne Evans and why they can command an audience, whether they're live or virtual, why is that?
Well, I think the reason why is because they have proven themselves over and over again, because both of them have clients that are making 6 and 7 figures. No problem, because they've gone through their systems. They've gone through their coaching, and they've proven it over and over again. And these people have seen it. Not only that, they bring a lot of content to these things that when you walk away, you think, wow, that was totally worth 197, or that was totally worth whatever. It was worth your time because you got so much.
Well, the other thing I see about it, and I seen this, I was talking with Sandra Yancey was here at an event that our friend Tony Caruso did a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And Sandra was talking about there, when she offers something to you, if she's offering it to you, all right, that's you take it now, because the next deal she offers is not going to be as good as this deal.
It's much higher.
That's something that in our world, so many people doing live or virtual events have stopped doing. They're going, well, I can't get people at $297. So, hey, let me discredit those people who paid $297. Let me offer it to you for $197.
No, and they shut it off. They shut it off. At midnight, if you don't get it,
yeah, they are very firm in what they do. The other thing that I've noticed about both of those women is they both have built a loyal following of raving fans. In other words, they can put something out to their fan base and they can fill it out. Why? As you said, they have proven their point before, but they also, every time they do something, the fan base knows this is going to help me.
Yep.
They're not doing it just to talk. And we have a lot of speakers, a lot of live stream shows that I've watched over the past 5-6 years, or a lot of people just wanting to get on camera.
Yep.
They have no idea or no concept of how they're helping or who they're helping. You know who you're helping, right? Who are you helping? For instance, I know this for a fact. Who are you helping?
We have a small group of people that we help, because our group are entrepreneurs that have been in business between 4 to 5 years, and they're at that point where they're tired of doing it on their own and they want somebody to help them do it. That's our sweet spot.
No. So, I personally know that the people I work with are sick and tired of dealing with all this. You have to coaches, and they want to go, hey, just make it simple and easy. What do I have to go do? What do I do now? And
that, I think, is what's great about both of them, is that the content they give you, you can implement right now. And move your business forward. If you implement just even 3 or 4 of these, and they give you a ton of content, and sometimes it's overwhelming, but they also take you back a step and say, okay, we gave you a lot of stuff. Now we want you to take the top 3 things and you go with those, and that's where you start. Then you go to the next top 3, and so on and so forth. And so many people have done that, including myself, that it's moved their business forward. That they know, oh my God, if I only just did 3 more, just think of how much farther I would go and how much more money I would make. And they're easy. A lot of them are very easy, common things, but we don't think about them because we're so into our head and so into trying to get things done. We don't think about these. And both of these ladies point them out in such a way that, okay, yeah, if I did this, then got it. They make it very easy for you to implement.
So one of the, I want to go into some of the news stories that I've seen this week, and this one here I thought was one of the most prominent news stories in the business world. And I know you and I were just talking just before we went live on camera about a business story versus stories about your business. All right. There's a lot of stories out there that we do on a weekly basis that affect our business. But this one here was an actual business story. And I want to talk about why it's a business story. and that is Elon Musk buying 9% of Twitter.
That's huge.
All right.
Huge.
In my opinion, this is my opinion. When Elon Musk buys a company, it changes the company. He does. I don't know why. He just does, changes the company. And in our world where we have gotten a cancel culture, and I know some of the stuff you wanted to talk about today, in a cancel culture world, I'm wondering if Elon Musk is not coming in and buying this to go, you know what? It's time to stop cancel culture, or maybe put a pause on cancel culture to try to get voices out there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's his mind, because he bought a 9%, and then almost within days of this being announced, it's announced he's going to be a board member. He's going to be on the board.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure they see that. Elon Musk is one of those that he's not afraid to take risks.
No.
And he's not afraid to state his opinion, whether you like it or not. He's not afraid to state it. Yeah. And he'll say, this is my opinion. And he's very good at taking things and making them to kind of gold. And even if they don't go to gold, he'll just say, that's all right. Just like with Edison, he had 1,000 ways that it didn't work. So, and that's kind of his model. And he does very good at it. I mean, he is right now the richest man out of everybody. He's at the very top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
The richest.
I know most of us most of the people are measuring their wealth and how much they have in their bank account.
Yeah.
I measure wealth by how much you impact your world, and Elon Musk is impacting our world.
Yes.
Jeff Bezos, all right, when you look at him impacting the world, yes, he's impacting the world because he made things easier for you to accomplish and get. Kind of like, one of the oldest ones was Bill Gates. Bill Gates made it easier for you to connect to the world by getting a good computer system out. Yeah. Elon Musk is out there trying to make the world a better place, and everything he sticks his hand into is look at Tesla.
I think it's going to take us away from being, his goal, and I think it's a great goal because of what we're going through right now with the war and everything and gas prices. It's going to take us away from that. We're not going to need to rely on that anymore.
Well, I hope. All right. But I do like the meme out there. I do like the meme out there that says, well, I'm sorry you can't afford the price of gas, so go spend $70,000 on a new car. Like, I can't afford $4 per gallon, but I'm supposed to spend $70,000 that I don't have.
Yeah.
I get it. You want to move forward to this, but there's got to be a solution other than telling people, well, I realize you're broke and can't afford $5, so spend $70,000 instead.
But he's coming out with a new model that's as little as it's their starting model for $28,000 because he wants everybody to be able to afford an electric car. So he's bringing that out.
But again, again, this is Elon Musk thinking of a way to make it affordable. But I remember the years that I didn't buy a brand new car. I haven't bought. It wasn't until the last 10 years that I started buying brand new cars. Before that, I was buying whatever piece of junk I could get and then spending, $400 to make it run better.
Well, and now the used cars are more than the brand new cars.
Yeah, they are. So I had a talk with that at my car dealer, and the guy said our lot is 90% used cars.
Yes, and they're more expensive. Why would you pay more for a used car? Because as we know, as soon as you go off that lot, that car depreciates.
Yeah.
Why would you pay more?
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have that choice. Your car peters out on you. You can't get whatever. Or you get to that point where you've crashed your car and now you can't get parts because the parts back order. And you don't know when they're going to come in.
Yeah, that was an issue with us in 2014. In 2014, I had a truck that my father, like an Explorer. It was like a 98 Explorer that my father-in-law had with 170,000 miles onto it. And I literally thought I was going to drive that thing for 5 years. I really did. And someone within like 4 months of us getting it and my father-in-law passing away, some lady hit me and they totaled it out because they couldn't get the parts to fix it. Right. And then I still drove it that way until it got hit again to where I couldn't drive it.
Yeah. My husband is in this business, he works for Mercedes and he does parts and so forth in regards to the wholesale parts, and it across the board. no matter who you talk to, it's not easy to get parts right now. So you don't want to wreck your car. You want to hang on to your car, treat it really nice so you don't have to get another car because there's not a lot of options out there.
Well, I was talking with guys at coffee this morning, and one of the guys is having problems with his car. And he's like looking at, hey, can I buy one of them 1950s bread trucks and have someone convert it for me? And I want you to think about this. All the custom car shows on TV, all right? Why can't we just buy an old car and have it converted? I've thought about this. I'd like to have my 1987 Chevy GMC pickup back. I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest vehicles I ever owned. And I paid $500 for it. And I think I drove it for 2 years. And I think I maybe put $900 worth of work into it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to have something like that again, but I'm not going to get it for that prices anymore. But that 1987 truck is still going. Find me a 2005 pickup truck that's been through that's still going. It ain't happening. But you can find a 1987, 78, 60. If you find it, you can probably get in, turn the key in half of them, and they'll fire up still. And you're like, okay, I'll drive this.
And they're easier to get parts for.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. There's a lot of aftermarket type parts for those cars now because they're considered classics, but nobody's making aftermarket parts for a 2002 Kia.
No, thanks.
I want me a classic Kia, man.
How about a pickup?
So I want to get back to this Elon Musk, and I want to know what this means. All right, do you think this means that they're going to go in with freedom of speech, or do you think this is going to change the social media platform our social media direction as we know it?
I think it's going to do both, because I know Elon Musk really talks about freedom of speech and how upset he is on how Facebook handles things and how Twitter handled things. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the thing is when it comes to these social media companies, they're still owned by one person or a conglomerate.
Yes, and no. I know that I'm pretty sure that Mark Zuckerberg is not the major. He's probably the major. He owns the most, but he does not own a majority of the company anymore.
Possibly not, but he is the one that a lot of times makes the biggest decisions.
He does,
based but I think on how they're going to react here and here, and we have to look at it in this way: if social media has gotten to the point, especially when it came to the politics and whether they had a line in that, and how they can post this, but they can't post that. I mean, it's gotten to the point now when on social media, and I do social media for some of my clients, that if you said anything about COVID or vaccines or anything of these hot topics, your post was taken down. Mm-hmm. So have we gotten to the point, and we've talked about this before, that with freedom of speech, are we strangling it? And are we getting to that point where it's like, well, you can say this, but you can only say this, this, and this. And you can't use this word or that word because we'll take that down. Oh, and you got to make sure that's not freedom of speech. As well as we talked about the cancel culture. Mm-hmm. That's not freedom of speech either. And so it's that fine line. And the problem is, I mean, before social media even was around, and for those young folks, it hasn't been around that long. Before it was around, because it started in 2003.
Yeah.
So.
Well, wait a minute. What's the oldest social media company out there?
Facebook. Oh, no. It was MySpace.
No. Still operating. No. The oldest one's still operating.
Damn, I forget the name of it always.
It's only like, the major business one right now.
I know, and I keep forgetting. Well, come on.
We are not. Give me a hint. Let me give you a hint. We're not broadcasting on there because they've not given me permission yet.
We're not what?
We're not broadcasting on that platform because they won't give me permission yet.
Oh, YouTube, not YouTube, LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been around a long time. Yes. But MySpace started first. MySpace started.
Now this is going into social media. All right. If you do your homework, when MySpace was out there, Facebook was just starting. What was the company predicted to be the biggest social media company that is no longer in business?
MySpace.
Nope. Friendster.
Gosh.
Friendster was predicted to be the.
I totally forgot about Friendster.
It was predicted to be the global thing. All right, and if you ever hear Sean Parker talk, he'll tell you. All right, everybody was studying what they were doing at the time, thinking that's the direction thing we're going. No one ever anticipated the fact that Facebook was going to come out as the dominant leader.
I totally forgot about Friendster.
Yeah,
totally forgot. But before social media, you got on the phone and you talked to somebody, or you did an email. But I think with social media, it's made it very easy for people to be behind that screen and say whatever they want, because they're not saying it to that person's face. And I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if you had that person right in front of you and you were saying that same thing, you wouldn't be able to do it.
It's a word. It's called cyberbullies. We have a ton of them. So
you wouldn't be able to do it.
Speaking of cyberbullies and Twitter, do you think with Elon Musk taking back over that people like Trump will be back on the platform?
I don't know, because it is feasible he might, just because Elon Musk believes in freedom of speech. So if that's the case,
and I don't know whether I personally don't know whether Trump and Elon Musk get along. I have no clue.
I have no idea.
But,
but if it's a freedom of speech and so forth, then. But here's the thing, though, too, that's caused a lot of problems on social media, and the reason why a lot of them have been taking it back is there's been a lot of misinformation that has gone out there. But part of that, though, too, people, is that we do our homework. And a lot of people take what is on social media to face. I mean, you've seen that commercial. I don't know if you remember or not, where the lady comes up and she's talking to the guy. I think it's an insurance commercial. She's talking about, I met this guy on social media. He's a French model. And the guy is the ugliest thing ever and walks up and goes, oui? Yeah. So it's like believe.
But you say, wait a minute. But you say this, all right, really, you say this, there's been a lot of misinformation. Guys, I've been watching the news for years. There's misinformation on the channels that have 3 letters. I'm not going to pick one. Channels that have 3 letters.
Yeah.
I was in Philadelphia.
Across the board.
No. I was in Philadelphia. I think it was 2013 or 14. And walking through, we went through like some of the museum stuff downtown by Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell. And we walked through this one place. There was a news guy set up in the corner, right? And, with cameras pointed. And we were just walking around. So I walked around and my wife was looking at something else. So I stopped and talked to him for a moment. All right. Just interesting. You know what I mean? The fact that I'm in media because I have the podcast and stuff. I started talking to him. And he told me, well, he says, we have a narrative and we're just pointing the camera to prove our narrative right. Like, they're totally missing a million other stories that could walk by them. Why? Because they sat up one morning and they went, you know what? This is what we want to prove. Let's set the cameras up and prove ourselves right. They don't go follow stories anymore. They create a story.
Yeah.
All right. And that's what led to this misinformation thing. I'm not saying that what they did is misinformation, but we no longer seek stories. We seek how can we manipulate. That's why I asked, do you think Trump will be back on there? Here's what Trump did for Twitter, whether you like Trump or hate Trump.
He made it huge.
If you put Twitter
almost gone.
Wait a minute. If you put Trump back on there, I hate to say it this way, but it's going to be huge.
It will. Because people always wanted to hear, excuse my language, but people always wanted to hear the next stupid thing that came out of his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you agree or not, you wanted to hear it. It was almost
like, let's see what he's going to say today. Let's see who he's going to piss off today. Oh, let's see what he says now.
Yeah, it's the Howard Stern media.
Yeah.
Do you remember Howard Stern, when the Howard Stern movie come out and it shared his thing? It's like they shared the graphics on Howard Stern. The average listener listens to Howard. The actual fan who likes Howard Stern listens for like an hour. Well, how long does the hater? Yeah, well, he's like 67% are haters. How long do they listen? 2.5 hours. What's the reason they listen? They want to know what he's going to say next.
Yep.
Trump was that on a mainstream basis. He took the Howard Stern model and blew it up with social media.
I agree.
Whether you like or hate him, he did that.
Yes, he did.
He controlled the news feed of
and comedians have nothing more to talk about because
now he's
nobody makes fun of him.
You got rid of them, and you got rid of everything that made you rich.
Anyway. I'm just saying, cartoonists, magazine articles, all kinds of stuff. He was everywhere.
He was huge.
He was huge.
He's gonna be huge.
Just like Yana. Huge.
Huge. I can't even say it right. But anyway.
Huge. Gonna be huge. Just like Yana.
But I mean, you had some stuff though with that though on reputation.
Well, talking about Trump, it kind of goes into what
you had some stuff
I was going to bring into the topic, and that is trust. And if you think about all of the news factors that are going on right now, Putin, nobody trusts him. A lot of people don't like him. And
he's my hero.
Wah, wah, wah. The government.
Wait a minute. Watch how many people misquote me on that one.
Yes. But believe it or not, the government has lost trust since 2007 and hasn't gone past 30%. So that means only 30% of us trust our government. That's pretty sad.
2007. All right. That was
since 2007.
What's the dividing line? 2007, 2008.
Not sure. I did not do my homework there.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Presidential election 2008, and it was the first time a president was elected based on social media.
Yeah.
Whether you like or hate Obama, social media built Obama.
That's true. And he utilized it very well, too, for his presidential.
He did the same thing Trump did, only Trump did it the opposite. That's what a lot of people, I tell people, when Trump ran for president, almost everything Trump did was exactly what Obama did.
Yeah.
But he did it on the other side. And most people are sitting there going, well, Trump's bad because of the things he's doing. I'm like, but you didn't mind it when Obama was doing it. It's like they both did the same things. The difference is that you liked one and didn't like the other.
Yeah. But that's the problem. Since 2007, we have lost trust. And we have lost trust since 2021. We've lost trust in ourselves by 60%. They said only we've lost. I mean, the rating. Let me put it this way: the United States since 2020 only had 34% rating across all the other countries. In other words, they did not trust us at all. 34%, and the United States used to be top. Since 2021, now that rating has increased to 62%. That's still not very good, but it's better. 62%. And as a whole, we as a whole have lost trust in ourselves by over 20%. They did these were Pew statistics where they took surveys of all these people. And right now, only 70% of us trust each other. 70%. Do you remember in the old days when I say my grandmother and grandfather and so forth, when a doctor told them they had to go get this, 100% they trusted him. They didn't question him. They said, got it, I'll do it. When their mechanic told them they had to go do this, got it, I'll do it. Trust was 100% at that time. Now, I think in some respects, we put our trust in different things. And
wait a minute, what caused us to lose that trust?
Media.
Misinformation in the media.
Misinformation, yes. Well, and like as a business, as we know, people only do business with people they know, like, and trust. And the reason why wars happen is because they don't really know them, they don't really like them, and they don't trust them. And that's what breaks down communication barriers. When you don't like, know, or really trust that person, are you really going to hear what they're going to say? You've already put your walls up. You're done. And that's the whole point. And I think that's where we've gotten in trust across everything. If you ask people, how much do you trust? Like, for instance, you probably don't trust 100% of what's said on social media or on the news, correct?
Right. I don't trust. If
You
you
don't trust
have a 3-letter anagram, I don't trust you. Yeah.
Exactly. You go and you would do your homework. You would not trust that.
No.
But the thing is even when we buy housing and find doctors and mechanics, we still trust them more sometimes than we even trust our friends or colleagues. And we don't do our investigating, we don't do our homework, we just go in and say, okay. So in those 3 factors, we still have this trust, but yet across the board with friends, colleagues, and so on and so forth, our trust has faltered. And it seems to me that it's one of those things that as a business, how do you do that? Especially, we talked about the slap. Do you think anybody's going to trust Will Smith at this point? Now he's trying to regain that trust.
I
He's
trust
trying
him.
to take that accountability. He's trying, but there are people left and right saying, take him out forever. I'm never going to watch his movies ever again. He shouldn't be able to blah, 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 blah. But here's the fact. We can't judge people unless we're in their shoes, walking their mile. Yeah. Until then, we can't judge. We cannot judge. I can't judge you any more than you can judge me, because they're false judgments based on false facts.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why that trust is broken down.
Yeah, no. Speaking of Will Smith, did you? I don't know if you've seen the meme. They had a meme out there with Will Smith. The top of the meme was Will Smith and Chris on stage. The bottom of the meme was Tony Soprano saying, "It's been 11 days now. Get over it." Who cares? I'm like,
well, here's the thing.
Tony Soprano saying, "Who cares?"
Here's the thing. This is the first time I've ever done this on Twitter, and I get the little feeds and so forth. And Huffington Post had put something on there about the slap and whether he should be admonished or whatever. And I thought, you know what? This is kind of pissing me off. So I wrote on there, people, tell me anybody on this feed who has never done anything or screwed up royally that they wanted to take back. Don't judge somebody unless you walked a mile in their shoes. That's all I'm saying. And most of the people agreed or liked. And one woman comes back, well, that may be true, but he still has to be accountable for his whatever. Whatever. So does Trump. So does all the other people that with the insurrection of, are they? So why are we going after Will Smith to be accountable when all these other factors, Putin, if you want to talk about being accountable, until we make everybody accountable at the top, going all the way down, how can we expect, it's just like we have these, I don't know, we have these high expectations of people that are always on camera because they're right there. They're in front of us. So they're easier to judge because we get to see snippets, but we're seeing snippets. We're not seeing the whole story, but that's what we're basing our decision on. Just like with the news, we see snippets, but we don't see the whole story. So it's that trust factor. And I just think as business, it's huge. It's a huge thing because it ties into your reputation.
I'm trying to find something. I'm sorry. Keep talking.
Well, and look at all for instance, look at the companies out there that have put out a social media post that they didn't think about before they posted it. They thought it would be funny during a time that probably wasn't the best time to post it. And now they're still trying to get back that reputation years down the road because of one post that pissed a whole bunch of people off, as well as the cancel culture, like we talked about, and how people go in and make that decision based on snippets of information instead of finding out the whole story. And now they want to cancel this or cancel that or cancel out this. That's part of it too. And it's all that, how do you go through as a business or even as a person? If you've made that big a mistake or you've made something or you've done something that now people are like, whoa, I'm not so sure I trust this person anymore. How do you get that reputation back? How do you work your way back into the good graces of clients or fans or colleagues? You know, how do you get that trust? I mean, let's face it, and I hate to beat this like a dead horse, but do you really honestly think anybody's going to trust Putin and anything he says at this point? Any country? Possibly not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I even read an article, not sure if it's true or not, because it's just an article and I don't have all the facts, but I read an article that stated they feel that China is working both sides and they're starting to ramp up their own military to go after both Russia and the US as well as Asia. But I don't have all the facts. It was just a story.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Just a story.
So, I was going to share. I actually found the picture I was looking for. I was going to share it, but apparently I have to renew my connection to share screen on StreamYard.
Oh.
And I have to log out and all that stuff to do that. So, I mean, I'm sorry I can't do it this week.
What was the picture? What was the picture?
It's going to be huge.
Huge. But I mean, going back to Twitter and Elon Musk, what do you think? You think then Trump is, because Trump was banned from Twitter.
Trump was banned from the major social medias. I'm not sure if it's going to bring Trump back, but I think the biggest thing is it's going to be a surge in business. In other words, if you own Twitter stock, your stock's going to go up. All right. The business might take an actual revitalization because of the fact that Elon Musk is going to look at it as a business as well as free speech. All right. And it's his thing to actually use this to help the modern day person. Jeff Bezos did the same thing when he bought the Washington Post. Yeah. So he can help control the media and what goes out. All right. Will Trump be back? I don't know if Trump will be back, but Twitter is going to go up in value. All right. Unlike, if you probably don't remember this, but I think it was the beginning of the Trump administration, about 2017. Mark Cuban tried to buy a stake in Twitter.
No, I remember.
Yeah, and I remember it was a big announcement. He was all over the financial news things about the fact that he was buying into Twitter. All right, yeah. But then it quickly dropped in value, so he got out and walked away. All right. Yeah. And there's been a lot of people trying to revive Twitter from what it was. I mean, if you remember the 2009 through about 2010 or 11, Twitter was a huge business. Like there was a chance you looked at it like Twitter was going to outdo Facebook. All right. And now, you know, I mean, there are other platforms, you know, that are, you know, way ahead of Twitter before them and Facebook.
Yeah. I have the feeling that with Elon Musk on board too, he's probably going to be looking at all of the other social media platforms and what they are supplying and see the gaps, what's not being met for the audience out there. And he's going to bring that forward, just like what Steve Jobs did with Apple. He didn't invent the computer or the phone. He just made them better. He made them easier. He made them easier to attain. And so he just looked at the gaps. And that's what, I mean, as a smart business owner, that's what you look at. You look at the gaps and how you can fill those gaps that nobody else is doing. And what aren't they doing that you can do differently that really makes you stand out? And I think that's what Elon Musk is actually going to do with Twitter.
Yeah.
Because as we know with Twitter, it was 140 characters. Then they upped it so that you could do more characters. I think it went up to like 340 or something like that. But a lot of people didn't utilize Twitter because they had a hard time trying to pull things together in 140 characters. So a lot of it was acronyms. So you had to know a lot of the acronyms that they were talking about. And it kind of pushed a lot of people away because it was like, it's just not my gig. And even my clients, when I talk to them and I say, just stay away from Twitter. I even shut that down. I only do Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I shut my Twitter down. They still don't look at it as a viable business option. So it's possible that Elon will come on board look at that and say, how can we make this a viable business opportunity for all the business people out there so that now they'll start to use it? Because Twitter's been floundering for a long time. They were very popular for a long time when Trump was around because everybody wanted to see what he was saying. But at this point, it's really started to falter. And a lot of people have been, getting off the ship before it sinks. So it's probably a good thing that Elon bought it, because it's going to make it a totally different format, I believe. Yeah.
Are you still using Twitter?
Yeah. I mean, I see things on Twitter and I still post things on Twitter, but when you're posting things even through schedulers, you've got to make sure that they're the certain characters. Otherwise, it's not going to post.
So we broadcast on Twitter now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I have this. So one of the channels I broadcast to is Twitter, and it goes out there. So I'm able to go out there and broadcast on Twitter, but the broadcast doesn't stay on Twitter. It used to when they had what was it? Not Meerkat. What was the other one they had? The other.
I don't know. My brain is like, I'm having brain farts today.
I know. I'm actually getting very clear on a lot of stuff, but like my clarity on this one, if I forget old names and I got to remember them, is there was a broadcasting tool that we used it was Meerkat was the first one, but there was a second one that Twitter bought and then eventually did away with, and because it was broadcasting on Twitter. Well, now they've got the thing where you can broadcast live, but the recording doesn't stay up on Twitter like it does on Facebook or YouTube. And you can go back in, and I have to go back in and repost the YouTube video to make it work.
Yeah.
All right. That is the downside to that. But like I have a whole thing on like I use If This Then That to rebroadcast on Twitter, or like my shows and all that stuff, the replays. But it's a different platform, but it can be used. I don't use it as much. It had for the longest time, and I think it still does. I have the most social media following is on Twitter. And even now I look at my Twitter and I still get like another dozen new people follow me every week.
Well, I have to admit that the organic reach on Twitter is much higher than the other ones.
Yeah.
And then LinkedIn is the second one. Facebook, not so much, because they've changed the algorithm so much that they want you to pay for ads to get any organic reach. And in reality, is that really organic reach when you're paying? I don't know.
I haven't tried that. I know you can use like broadcasting. You can broadcast, but I don't know if you can broadcast on Twitter from the app. Let me see.
I don't see why you can't, but
no, I'm not. I have to, because I changed my Twitter name again, so I have to go back and figure that out. But anyway, the other one I had was Parler. Was another one that I don't really do much on there. Parler and MeWe were created around the whole cancel culture, because both of them, everybody went to them because they were giving free speech.
Yeah.
Which then eventually became known as that's the right-wing people. I hate to say it, but the right-wing people aren't the only free speechers out there, but that's like they were created for free speech.
No, but they're the loudest.
No, they are not.
To some degree.
No, they are not.
Well, I say that they're the loudest only because those that followed Trump were the loudest, and a lot of people put them in that bucket. So I think
that's because the Trump people, but I'm saying no.
That's why I'm saying a lot of people put them in that bucket.
If you've ever seen a whiny crybaby keep whining and crying and beating on the floor until he gets what he wants, most of the time it's a liberal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
I do. Depends. All right. I've seen that.
On who you talk to, it depends.
No, I've
seen you know, I'm in the middle. I'm not on one side or the other.
No. I'm not on the sides either. I'm just saying I've seen the whiny babies.
It sounds like you're on the side, sir.
No. The whiny babies are on the left. The right side eventually went, okay, fine. You want to silence me? Go ahead. I'll sit back and wait till you fail. They won't whine and cry like a baby if they don't get their way.
Oh.
That's the difference. Is they're both about free speech. The difference is the right-wing guy is going to go, okay, well, I'm going to go out and find a new place to talk because you're not going to let me talk. The liberal person on the other left side, all right, not you and I, We're in the middle. We're going to try to work with it either way. But the left guy is going to go, I want my way. No. You got to give me my way. Right? The right side goes, okay, I'm not working here anymore. Let me move on.
Well, I don't know. There's Marjorie Green. She does a lot of that, and she's on the right side. Way right. She does a lot of. So it depends on who you talk to. I'm just saying. Depending on who's talking and who you talk to.
I'm talking, and I'm saying it's that way.
I'm just saying.
That's moving our hashtag of the day. Just saying.
Just saying. Well, here's an interesting fact that I found. Okay. I thought was really
this
is
a good, interesting fact, by the way.
Really cool, and you're going to be able to see it on April 8th in 2024. Will be the last time you'll be able to see a total.
That's 2 years from tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, 2 years. You won't be able to see another one until 2045, another 21 years down the road. And those states where you're going to be able to see it is in a state you're in, Mr. Gillette, which is Dallas, Austin, Texas, Little Rock, Arkansas, Indianapolis, Indiana, Cleveland and Dayton, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, Burlington, Vermont, and Montreal, Quebec. Because of the way the stream it's going across this way. And that's how the total eclipse is going to be seen there. Other places will see bits and pieces of it, but not the full eclipse as these states will. And you're going to be in the state where you're going to get to see it.
Why do I feel we should be playing Bonnie Tyler's A Total Eclipse of the Heart?
I thought it was cool because, I mean, in California, when I lived in California, the total eclipse, a lot of times we couldn't see it because it didn't go over California. It always went on the lower end of the United States.
So this is the reason you left California, because most people in California can't see things, period.
Kaboom. But what's funny though,
Logic has left California a long time ago.
I know, but what's funny though is when you tell people that you're moving to New Mexico, the first thing they say is, Mexico, why are you going there? New Mexico. Is that in the state? Look at your map, folks. It's in the middle of the state, pretty much. A little bit over. It's close to California, Texas, Arizona. It's not
They're thinking they forget. All right, where things are from. Billy the Kid, New Mexico.
Yep. He and Pancho Villa hung out in a little town called Mesilla that we're not too far from. Very exciting. Very exciting. I have to admit that my husband and I are eating our way through New Mexico. Literally. The food
have
out
you gone
here
out and checked out my winery in New Mexico?
Not yet.
I mean, come on. It's like 7 to 10 miles from you at most.
I know. It's not that far.
Maybe,
I wanted to double check.
20 miles, but still. They have a tasting room in Las Cruces. If I come out there, I'm taking your ass out there. You know that. You and your husband in the car.
Here's the thing. I found my favorite brewery is Pistacho Mountain Brewery. Oh my God. The food and the drinks and outstanding. Atmosphere. Love it. That's my favorite so far is Pistacho Brewing Company. Great place.
I'm trying to think if that's the one I was at too. Hold on, let me look up real quick. I will tell you exactly because I remember.
And it's just down the street, not too far from where our house is being built. So I'm pretty excited about that. Because if we wanted to walk, we could. It'd be a little long walk, but we could if we had to. We had too many. But I just have
Here's the one thing most people don't realize about the town you live in, Las Cruces. Is it in central New Mexico, western New Mexico, or eastern New Mexico?
Shit. I do not know my directions.
It is technically in the western part of New Mexico.
Yeah.
It's further to the west than it is to the east.
And the more people I'm getting to know out here that have been here for a while are telling me that even though Las Cruces is the second largest city in the state of New Mexico, it's considered the stepchild.
It is.
That they don't get as much in regards to funding and so on and so forth as Albuquerque and some of the other states that aren't even as big. But I mean, and here's the thing is, Las Cruces is an eclectic town. It's very eclectic. It's got a lot of diversity, and they're working to build it up as a destination. And that's what they're working on, is to build it up to that. And since we've been here, I mean, they're building homes and they're building more shopping. I mean, people will ask me, how's the shopping out there from California? And I just simply tell them, if you want to shop, stay in California. Otherwise, you're going to be going to El Paso, Texas, because there's not a lot of shopping out here. Most of the people out here are outdoorsy, hiking, biking, getting out in nature. And I mean, it's a beautiful state. And the food, oh my God, the food is amazing. Amazing, amazing. I will say that. So we've been enjoying ourselves, and they have a lot of museums out here that are free. You don't have to pay to go into them. They're free to go into, and they have quite a few of them. And the nice thing is they're small enough that you can get through them pretty quickly. You don't have to spend 3 days to go through and say, okay, we'll go back the next day and see this whole section.
Yeah.
Because in LA, most of the museums are like, you were there for how long and you only saw this? Yeah, that thing is huge.
It's huge.
Huge. Huge. Before we end up here, I wanted to also share a resource for a lot of people out there. It's called Pixie Stock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great social media where they can help you with content. If you don't know content to write, they can help you with the content, the imagery, calendaring it out. They give you ideas so that you can get it going. And it helps you, the resources that they've got really helps the juices going, and they make it easy for you so that you don't have to sit there and go, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? They even give you tidbits like, say this, and then you put in your own text that you'd like to, but they give you starting points. So it's a great place. If you're not sure how to write your own post, it's a great place to start. It's called Pixie Stock. Pixistok. And I gave you the link if you want to put the link on there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat.
It's a great opportunity to, if you're out there trying to do your social media and going, I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do. What am I going to write? I don't know. It gives you all kinds of ideas. And imagery too. You can utilize their imagery, and they work hand in hand with Canva.
Oh, really? That's the other thing, is I'm learning Canva, and I did my logo thing with Canva. Did you see the logo for my other podcast?
Love Canva.
I did.
Love it, love it, love it. You can build presentations there, flyers, printing materials, business cards, logos, banners, social media banners, all kinds of stuff. In fact, the logo that we have up here.
So wait a minute, you did it on there, but you're not willing. Wait. When are you going to do the stuff I need done?
Oh, I know.
I guess I'm not on there.
I'm working on it. But this is stuff that I built in Canva. I mean, it's really easy to do. Very easy to do.
Okay.
And it's awesome. And they give you templates there too that you can at least start with, and you can change things out, and they look beautiful.
Okay.
All I'm saying is look around. Don't just do the top 3, because that's what most other people do, and you're just going to look like everybody else. I'm just saying. Yeah. It seems like that's always the case. When people do the templates, they look through the first 3, they pick one of those, and then it's like, well, that looks like George's website.
Yeah.
Is that what Donnie's website looks like? So people, when you're doing your website, come on. Don't pick the top 3 just to move forward. You got to pick something that's unique. Otherwise, people are going to say, "Oh, that looks like so and so." So, do you work with them?
You don't want to look like Tim. You don't want to look like Tim and Katrina. You want to look like you want to look like Donald Trump. Copy him.
Yep. Wouldn't that be fun? A website that would show both sides of the spectrum, the Republican and the Democrat.
What an idea!
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute. I got a better idea. All right. Why don't we have someone read off what actually happened today? All right. Without a side of the story. Just read it off. We can call it the news.
Or you know what we could do? We could play Gossip. Have you ever played that game?
Gossip?
Gossip. You go in a circle. Somebody has a story. It's a very short story. They whisper it into the first person's ear, and by the time it gets around everybody else, and they keep whispering into the next person and so forth, that it shows how that story has been misconstrued and not even close to what is true. And that's what happens in social media. It's a perfect example. It's called gossip. It's a great story. You should try it. It's a good exercise for if you do your live event. It's a good exercise to do.
Well, I just might do that at my next live event now.
It's a great exercise. You just whisper something. It's a simple story. You whisper it in the first person's ear, and they have to repeat it all the way around that circle. Mm-hmm. And then you come back, and that person says what it is, and then you read what it actually is. And it's a real eye-opener to see how things get misconstrued. And that's what we're hearing news-wise. That's what we're hearing social media-wise. That's what we're hearing posts, all kinds of stuff. It's some topic that's been misconstrued, and to make it sensationalized or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. It's a great way to see how that works. And it's called gossip.
So anyway, all right, as we close the week up, all right, where are you speaking at tomorrow?
Gosh, I'm speaking at this guy's event. What's his name? I think his name is Tim Gillette. Simple Easy Marketing, I think it is what his company is. Oh, that's it, right. Simple Easy Events is his event. And then he also does Simple Easy Marketing. Mm-hmm. Something about marketing. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, and I thought I'd highlight your speaking there tomorrow, right?
Yes, I am.
What a way to get her to promote my event, huh?
Guess what I'm speaking on, people? How to pull a website together in one freaking day. So if you want to join me, by all means.
I actually had someone apply to be on my podcast in the past 7 days since you and I have been on last time. And actually, they had no website. And I wrote back, and I have a tag in Kartra that I put them in, and it puts them on a sequence that says you need to have a website to be on it. They got so offended that they had to have a website to be on my podcast.
Come on, people. You have to have a website.
You can create a website in one day. I can take any stranger off the street. I can sit down with them, buy a domain name at GoDaddy, get a hosting account with somebody, all right, and put a WordPress website onto it and have it up. I can do all of that in 4 hours.
Yeah, you can do it.
Now, it's not going to be a class working website, but it will be workable enough that it will get your information out and you will be present on the web 4 hours.
1 day, guys. 1 day. Doesn't take that long.
I'll do that for you for $297. One page.
There you go. And on top of it, we're also going to talk about the options out there in regards to the platforms that don't cost any money.
Yeah, there's platforms you can do things for free, all right, and get stuff up and do. And I'm sure you're going to cover some of them. I personally am always about invest a small amount, all right, and get it going. But if you're not sure you're going to do content on a regular basis, you can use like a blogging platform. You can use a platform to get started, all right. But if you use like a WordPress, you always have room to grow without switching things. You use Joomla, you always have room to grow without switching things. Some of these websites, you don't have room to grow. I mean, they're free, but you have no room to grow as you're ready to invest.
They get very clunky. They get very clunky. We're going to cover that, but and as well as the other things that you have to have in a website that you want to have, but 1 day you can pull it together. It's going to be very.
And I'm thinking, like, I've got you coming tomorrow. Scott Schilling's going to be in the opening, and he's going to be talking about that sucks. Now what? Yeah, that sucks. Now what? It's a problem. How to solve problems, right? And I'm actually going to do a speech. I actually have a whole outline of the thing I'm doing on 3 keys to being successful with a membership site. So
perfect.
It's going to be a fun day event tomorrow. All right. But besides that, we'll be back here next week.
Of course. Always. So,
all right. Tell them your website. All right. Your website is
kgwebsitedesigns.com.
That would probably be why she's doing a talk on designing websites. Just saying.
Maybe.
Just saying.
And don't forget to see my tips that I do on a regular basis on Facebook. I do them usually right after this.
Are you, wait a minute. Do you have a Facebook channel they can subscribe to?
I do.
Because
I always forget what the channel is. I think it's under KG Website Designs.
Okay, because they if you see down in the scrolling thing, all right, they got to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/businessgspot-podcast.
Yeah, and I think mine's the same, but it's KG Website Designs.
Cool. So.
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.